portraits.
Oh, I love that.
It's beautiful. So you've lived here, Ilona, for 66 years.
I did a lot of portraits, you know.
And you perform,
and I
too.
still do it. Yeah. You saw the one I did of Mayan.
Yeah,
Did you?
yeah. Ilona, Diane wanted to just ask you a question for
Yeah.
her video. Is that okay?
What?
Diane was going to ask you a question for a little video.
Of course. Of course.
How did you meet Arie?
Well, I was minding my business, walking across the street, and this young man with a very charming jacket, very unusual, comes and approaches me and said, "May I take your photo, please?" And I said, "Certainly, but what do you need it for?" He said, "I take women over 75 who still have a spirit and dress colorful." I said, "Voila, no voila, here I am."
I love it. And then you
And
invited
then
him into your place.
He asked me several questions, and we became friends. And I saw he was not just in fashion, but he had a good heart, and he was very lovely as a human being. And as you get older, as we all get older, I think success is wonderful, and money is marvelous, but the main thing when you really get older is when you meet people, do they have heart? For me, anyhow.
For me, too.
Because you can take it with you. Any day I might kick off. I'm very much aware of it. So I like to do all the nice things right now while I'm alive.
Which is the best way.
Yeah.
Because that's what keeps you alive.
Sure. Sure. And in doing something nice, I feel very potent. I feel I'm not a dead fish. I mean, I'm not gone. I have still something to give, something to offer. My paintings, which I do every day, or drawings, keep me going because I feel I'm not useless, because I'm old and I'm pretty much weaker, and I walk very slowly and lots of things in the body. You find out you have things which you never knew you had, which hurt. I mean, you're too young, you're a spring chicken.
No, I'm not
but
a spring chicken,
yes,
I
you
can
are.
tell you that.
You are very young. Against me, younger than springtime, are you?
It's all relative, right? Yeah.
But anyhow, so my life has become, through Arie actually, completely changed. I mean, when I was a young girl and I dreamt somebody might discover me, when I had my first apartment in this place, the telephone was installed, my very first telephone. Each time it was ringing, Diane. I thought, somebody saw me and discovered me. And I was very young at the time.
You were Lauren
What was I,
Bacall.
19 years old or so? Each time I never gave up. Of course it never was. But now, in my old age, something like miraculous happened. Somebody I just casually met on the street. And
But I heard about you before. You were very well known in the neighborhood.
And I had no idea.
Yeah. My friend works at Marc Jacobs, and when I started the blog, they told me, all the people there, you have to meet this woman. She has red eyelashes, red hair, and, dresses. She's just a magical person. And so I had this idea of Ilona, and then someone sent me a picture of her. And so for about a year and a half, I'd come to the West Village looking for Ilona, but I never found her. And I'd go into Marc Jacobs, and they say, "Oh, she just left." And I was like, what's going on here? And then one day, I finally saw her on the street, and I was so excited. And if you ask Ilona's friends, they'll say that she's been this sparkly, magical person her whole life. But you don't think so.
I have no idea what people feel. I just know I'm nice. Now I realize in my old age, before I had a terrible inferiority complex. And Diane, I never gave myself credit of all the wonderful, famous people which I did. How many people do you know who were permitted and did Tennessee Williams? And we became friends.
Really?
Our
How did you
birthdays,
meet Tennessee
our
Williams?
birthdays were next to each other.
Really?
Yeah.
What's your birthday?
How I met him in Key West, and it was very funny. He was invited to a unveiling party. I just finished a portrait of my host with whom I stayed, Richard Gleischer, who was an architect, and he has a house. He had a passion. He bought old, fallen down houses, restored them exactly the way they were, except modern facilities. And
Great.
we were in one of these houses where the door was taken off, and two horses, the wooden horses which support things, had the very large door. On it he had from his grandmother embroidered beautiful cloth, a tablecloth, beautiful silverware, beautiful glassware, and here, and he took 2 bed sheets with stripes with golden ropes, and that was the entrance. It was like a stage. And the people were filtering in. He invited a bunch of people for a dinner party, and one young man came in, and we immediately clicked. We laughed. He said something funny. I said something funny. We both sort of felt each other very amusing. Then he stopped before the painting which I did of my host, and he said, "You know, I never wanted to be painted, but this really is interesting. I would like to meet him. I would like to meet the artist." So he said, "Well, first of all, it's a she. Number 2, you already have met. She's standing next to you."
Oh, it's so great.
And then it's a dinner table. Of course, we sat next to each other. Then he found out I love swimming. He had a swimming pool, and he invited me. He said, "You know, that gives me an incentive to go swimming." He also went to cooking school, and he said, "Would you be my guinea pig and my first guest when I'm doing my own cooking?" I said, "Sure." It was pretty good. And our birthdays were celebrated together. He's one day before or after, I forgot. And he was just a delight.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Tennessee Williams.
And she did the portrait of Ayn Rand on a lot of her book covers.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
But also I found 3 checks from Tennessee Williams,
Yeah, you showed
which
me
he had.
one.
Did I show it to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have them around?
I have them in Cape Cod.
Ah.
Unfortunately, I don't think I brought them here. Did I show it to you here? No. On the Cape.
You showed me in the Cape.
You have a
I'm sure.
place in Cape Cod as well?
In Provincetown, I have a place where I go every year, June, July, August.
Nice.
And I try to swim every day,
Wow.
And
if the weather's
and
permitting.
she teaches painting and art classes, and you are the person who tells everyone the timing in the drawing classes and helps people draw.
My drawing class is what?
That you do drawing and painting classes in
Oh, yes,
Provincetown.
I did that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's great.
And they just accepted, did I tell you they accepted a large painting?
That's so
A
great.
very large one called Sea Nymph. And, I'm going to have a show in the museum in July 10th to August 16th. I had painted a lot of the Eugene O'Neill characters because I made a large painting of Eugene O'Neill. I have it here, I can show it to you later. And so the actors who came to enact a Eugene O'Neill play, I did all of them. And I did some of the artists who were pertinent at the time, many years ago. And so the show will be about all these faces from way
And
back.
which museum is this?
Pardon me?
Which museum?
The Provincetown Museum.
It's fantastic.
And she does an eyelash cabaret there every year.
Yes,
I'm
to
sure.
benefit the thing. I sing
How
a little
great.
Marlene Dietrich song. I sing a little bit Edith Piaf song. Tell them funny stories. You know.
That's great.
So it's an all-around, very warm kind of a thing. Very simple and warm.
Fantastic.
Were you going to draw Diane's lips?
I would love to do that. Have you got time?
It depends how much time it takes.